Hello everyone, my name is Blessy and I am here to share my learning from the book The Leader Who Had No Title. So now this book revolves around a man called Blake. Blake is a US veteran. He's currently working in a bookstore. His professional life is nowhere. He's working in a bookstore. His personal life, his personal relationships are not doing well. He's completely unmotivated in his life. So on a dull Monday morning like that, Blake happens to meet Tommy. Now, initially, Blake is not interested in interacting with Tommy because when he looks at Tommy, Tommy is a very weirdly dressed, oddly dressed man. But they start having a chat and Blake gets to know that Tommy is his father's friend. They continue the discussion and Tommy tells Blake that I am also an employee at this bookstore. In fact, this chain of bookstores. So Tommy had requested for a transfer to Blake's branch because his old branch was not giving him the challenges that he wanted. So he had requested for a transfer to a more challenging branch. So here he was in Blake's branch. Tommy was way older than Blake, somewhere in his 70s, way past the retirement age. Apart from that, Tommy had been the employee of the year for the last 5 years. So Blake is very much interested in Tommy and the entire personality. And he gets a lot of positive vibes from Tommy. So their discussion continues and Blake notices that Tommy is wearing this chain, this necklace, which has this initials LWT engraved on it. So Blake is again interested in understanding this entire personality who stood in front of him. So he starts questioning Tommy that, why didn't you go for a promotion? Why are you still continuing to work at the same job role or job title for all these years? Why didn't you go for a promotion if you are such a good employee? So now Tommy tells Blake that why do you need a title to be associated? Why do you want to be associated with a title to do your job well? You can be a leader no matter what job title you're associated with. Again, Tommy tells Blake that if every person decides to sweep their own doorstep, the world would be a much better place. Implying that if all of us became leaders in the job that we do, we can build a better organization, a better society, and not just a leader in terms of our professional life, but even in our personal lives, we can be leaders in every task that we take up. So this book is about a journey that Tommy and Blake take together to meet 3 teachers who taught Tommy the LWT philosophy. And the LWT philosophy stands for Lead Without a Title. So the first teacher that Tommy takes Blake to meet is Anna. So now who is Anna? Anna is a housekeeping manager at a very famous hotel. Now she's just a housekeeping staff. She should be frustrated, irritated with her job. But when Blake meets Anna, she's humming a song and she's doing her job. She seems to be very happy. Now they start interacting and Anna tells Blake that I love my job. I am the best at what I do. My manager treats me like a queen. My colleagues respect me. They send me for a lot of training programs. In fact, as it's a famous hotel, I get to interact with a lot of business personalities. I get to learn about business ideas. I get to learn about the new trends. So Anna is very happy with what she's doing. Now, a little bit background about Anna. Anna lost her parents at a very young age. So she grew up with her grandmother and an extended family, and there was a lot of poverty. They struggled a lot in her childhood, but she got an exposure to a rich culture of dance and music, and she was using it to get through her day-to-day work. On the other hand, what was Blake doing? Blake was someone who had just returned from the war, and he was not able to settle back in his personal and professional life. So he was always blaming the war for everything that was going wrong in his life. So this is the first learning that Anna shares with Blake, that always choose leadership over victimhood. Because you can play the victim, but a leader would never play victim in every scenario. So what Blake needs to do is stop playing victim, stop giving his history, his background in the war as an excuse for all the things that were happening in his life, and try to emerge a leader in amidst all the problems. The second learning that Anna shares with Blake is that do not go after leadership. Do not go after leadership power that is associated with some title. So what happens? That title is eventually going to go away from you. And when that title goes away, you are going to lose that power, that leadership power. The third learning that Anna shares with Blake is that success is a result of a lot of conscious choices that we are making. So when we meet a successful person, we say that, he just had a lucky break. But what we call luck is a result is an unexpected reward for a lot of conscious choices that person made. And the fourth learning that Anna teaches Blake is that do not worry about critics. Because the moment they stop speaking means that something is not going right in your life. You're doing something wrong. Because who are critics? Critics are basically mediocre minds who are just jealous of you. So Anna teaches Blake all about how you need no title to be a leader. Now Blake meets the next teacher, that is Ty. So Ty is a former world skiing champion, and he crashes his knee in his early 30s, due to which he cannot continue with his passion. But he does not give up. He becomes a ski instructor and travels to different parts of the world, and eventually ends up setting a shop where he's selling ski equipment and mountain bikes to tourists. So he admits that he's not very wealthy, but he is very happy in his life. So Blake and Ty start having an interaction, and they start discussing about the changing world scenario, during which Blake tells Ty that, everything at his organization is changing rapidly. People, processes, technology is all changing rapidly. Now, Ty tells Blake that if you're not able to accept this change and you are scared of that change, and you tell yourself that let me hide under this desk till this wave of change goes away, you will eventually end up suffocating to death, because this wave of change is not going to go away. So the only way out is you need to adapt to the change. You need to accept the change and you need to adapt to the change. So successful leaders are people who eat fear for breakfast. They face the change, they accept it, and they adapt to it. And Ty tells Blake that, everyone can flourish in favorable business circumstances. But a real leader is someone who can move ahead despite unfavorable circumstances. And that is where you need to adapt to change, because even with skiing, when the slope or terrain changes, you need to change the technique, or else you will end up getting into an accident. You will end up hurting yourself. In the same way, when you are encountered with change, when you have an encounter with change, you need to change your technique. You need to tweak your technique a little so that you can flourish amidst that change. And another thing he says that, there is going to be a little bit of an issue. You're going to face a little bit of discomfort when change comes into your life. And he demonstrates it with an example where, if you have to hold your hand like this, for some of us, it's our right thumb which is outside. For some of us, it's our left thumb which is outside. Now change the orientation of the fingers in such a way that your other thumb is on the outer side. This feels, you feel some kind of discomfort when you do this. So either way, it's not wrong, but what is happening is you are not comfortable to change. So when you are initially trying to change a habit that you had been following for a long time, you're going to face some discomfort. And the last thing that, Ty tells Blake is that there's going to be a slight downfall when you start changing. So it's like, where amateurs who have been practicing a particular technique for a long time and they want to learn it professionally and they enroll in a professional course, initially you will notice that there is going to be a drop in their performance because they have to unlearn what they had been doing for a long time. So that unlearning process plus the new learning process is going to take a long time. So you need to be able to accept that slight downfall that comes with change. Blake's interaction with Ty was all about how you can be a great leader amidst turbulence. And now Blake meets his next teacher, that is Jackson. So Jackson is a gardener and he's building a beautiful garden, but he was a former CEO who quit his job to pursue his passion of gardening. Now Blake and Jackson, they start interacting, and this interaction is revolving around how important it is to build and nurture healthy relations, because business is a vehicle to help people, and somewhere due to the influence of technology, somewhere in these changing times, we have forgotten the crux of business. And what we are pursuing is not people. So people are customers, our employees. People are at the center of every business. And Jackson tells Blake that how important it is to be humble, because the bigger your dream is, the more important your team is. You need to treat every person in your organization with respect. And more importantly, you need to listen. Listening is a very important skill for an effective communicator. So to build healthy relations with all stakeholders of your business, you need to tone down. You need to reduce the ego that is screaming within you to speak, and you need to turn up the volume of listening. So you need to start listening more and you need to speak a little less. So Jackson speaks to Blake all about how it is important to build and nurture healthy relationships with all people associated with your business. And now comes the last teacher, who is Jet. So Jet is a massage therapist, and this interaction with Jet is all about how you need to better yourself, become a good human being first, become a good person first, and then you can start influencing people around you. So the first thing that Jet tells Blake is that you need to know what you want to be remembered as after you die. Now start moving backward. How you want to be remembered. If you want to be remembered as such and such person, move backward and start planning your life accordingly. Another thing he tells Blake is that it is very important that you stop pursuing materialistic things, because whatever you need, you already have. You are going after materialistic things for happiness. Now, imagine if you attain that personal mastery, you become a leader in what you do, those materialistic things are going to come after you. So you need to remember that those materialistic things in life are not the ones that own you, but you are the ones who are owning the materialistic things. And there are a few, around 5 to 6 points that he ends with, which is important for achieving personal mastery. The personal leadership fundamentals that Jet shares with Blake are: you need to focus on your learning. Read from good books that inspire you. Practice affirmations where you're consistently repeating positive statements. Visualize your goal. Look at the big picture. Start journaling. You need to write down what your hopes are, what your dreams are. Goal setting. You need to reconnect with your goals regularly, because goals will help you live life and protect you from reactive or accidental leadership. Then you need to exercise. Your physical exercise will boost your brain power. And then your energy depends on how you eat and how much you eat. So you need to monitor your food intake constantly. So this was all about the book, The Leader Who Had No Title. I would like to thank Sir for giving me an opportunity to share my learnings. This book is full of learnings, and to compress it into a small video, it's really difficult. So I have tried to share all the learnings that I could connect better with. So I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you so much.